Are we rolling? Have we started?
We are. We've already started.
Right into it, yeah.
So, first thing, I want to know, because I did not know this, tell me about your live show.
My live show?
Yes.
Well, I do about 100 live dates a year at theaters, like the one I'm doing at the Wellington Opera House tonight. Beautiful 1,500-seat theater here in New Zealand. Oh, that's the whole reason I said yes to this Comic-Con. I was like, I gotta perform at that theater.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I performed / spoke at Harvard University last week. Next week I'll be at Oxford University. In jolly old England, I traveled all around doing this live show. It's a psychological illusion show, power of the mind stuff. I actually was putting it together from the time I was in college, and I was just lucky enough to be voicing on a hit TV show when I was out in Hollywood, and the voice work hit before the live touring hit. And so I did voice work for a few years, but I always intended to go back and tour, and that's what I've been doing the last few years. It's just traveling the world several times around the globe now.
Not a bad gig.
It's great. It's the best. I get to see the world, meet interesting people, and everything's fresh and new and alive. You get that electric energy of walking out on a stage in front of hundreds of people or more and making a connection, making something happen. You don't get that feedback inside a little recording studio. You just kind of crossing your fingers hoping that what you put out there will make an impact.
Now, is this the first time you've done a show like this, or have you always done live performances?
Do you mean this Comic-Con that we're at right now?
No, the tour you're going on.
Oh, I've been doing this tour for 8 years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, something like that. I've done good research there. I've done.
We're here. You're in New Zealand.
I know, it's a bit of a.
Let me rephrase the question.
It's a bit like out of left field, right? Because we're here for voice work, for voiceovers at a Comic-Con, but really, as a touring performer, all I've got are dates on a calendar. So there's got to be a live show component. But yeah, I've done TV specials all over the world. I've done theater shows all over the world. I mean, I'm based in America, so most of them are there, but hundreds and hundreds.
Nice. That's awesome. So for those who don't necessarily know your voice work,
I played Ty, the leader of the Digimon. Agumon Digivolve! That's what I'm most known for.
What are you least
Back to you.
What are you least known for?
I am least known for I did a bunch of voices in video games, and people don't tend to know that I did that. Like I'm pretty sure, based if IMDb is to be trusted, I am Legolas in the Hobbit video game. I am on my ox in that's another character.
I know it too. I can
Pilfer, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah,
I believe it is.
One of those. Here's the thing. I never knew what I was going to read when I go into a studio. They hand me a piece of paper and show me a drawing or something and say, yeah, I'm in Final Fantasy. I have characters that die. And I do that, and then they ascribe it to some character. I'm Young Knives in Trigun. I'm not very well known for being in Trigun. I'm that. But because when I recorded it, Trigun wasn't Trigun. It was just the thing I was doing that day. You know, and then years later, it's like, oh, this is a following. I mean, that's different than a series.
Yes.
Like I'm Hige in Wolf's Rain. I knew Wolf's Rain was a thing because we were doing however many episodes, 30-some episodes, I feel. But it's different when you go in and you just record a role for 2 hours, and then years later, you're at a Comic-Con and some guy has got a tattoo of that character on his face, and he's like, "You voiced this," and I did. I had no idea.
Let's make it.
That is some wild, wacky stuff. Right, yes.
Very nice. Now I'm picturing a guy with gopher beard, but your face on
my face on the side of his face, talking like some terrible mole. Yes. Have that lanced off. Yeah.
And now we're to the Family Guy reference with the pimple.
Oh, righty then.
So you're doing voiceover, you're touring, and you're writing. Let's do the book.
Wrote.
So we
Done.
wrote.
This is my newest creative endeavor.
Is that your first book? Then?
This is my third book. This is called Finding Focus in a Busy World, How to Tune Out the Noise and Work Well Under Pressure. This is 6 months of my life here. I wrote a book for speakers. I wrote a book on hypnosis. But this is the book that I wrote for my children, for my babies. Because I travel a lot, I feel like, well, maybe the plane will fall out of the sky, and I want them to know What's in this book? But it's also for the people that come up to me and say, how do you do these things? How do you... I did a 4-year university program in 2 years.
Nice.
I traveled across the country. I didn't know anybody in Hollywood, and I was on a bunch of TV shows and movies. I've been on TV specials for millions of people, and I read minds, quote unquote, you know, on stage. I do various things that are a bit out of the norm, and people say, how do you do this? This is how. This isn't how to do each individual thing. This is how to prime yourself to do whatever the hell you want. You know, like whatever you want to do in life, you have to learn this skill to focus, to be present, to be mindful of the person in front of you, the opportunity in front of you, that moment in time that you are living. And the world in which we live does not tend to teach that or value it. We instead are taught the value of multitasking, which is a fallacy. It's not real. You can't really multitask. It's like fast app switching on your computer. And you know what happens if you have too many apps open at once? It crashes. And that's what people do. They crash. They get tired in the middle of the afternoon, or forgetful, or they're sick, or what. I've been up since 3. I had 3 hours of sleep. I've been up since 4 o'clock this morning. Get stuff done. You know, I'm not smarter than anybody else. I don't have any better genes than anybody else. I have this one ability to completely focus on the person in front of me, the opportunity in front of me, the role in front of me, the audience in front of me, the screen in front of me to write, whatever it is, to be in the moment. And, oh, one other thing.
Yes.
To be process-oriented, not goal-oriented. The difference being goal-oriented is you've got this thing in the distant future, because you're not in the moment if you're thinking about the future, right? That you want to attain. And then you, through sheer force of will and diligence and persistence of effort, you are able to attain it. And then you got that satisfaction of achieving that goal for an instant. And then it's gone. You have another goal, right? That's no way to live. No. Be process-oriented instead, which means enjoy the process. Enjoy the process of creating the moment in which you are currently living. And when you learn to do that and enjoy that and appreciate it and not be always striving for money, striving for fame, striving for acquisitions of things, and just be happy and harmonious with whatever's going on, wherever you're at, I personally find satisfaction in that. I feel like that's the key to whatever degree I'm successful. That is the key to it, is being able to find satisfaction and a creative energy in that process-oriented, mindful approach to life. That was a long answer to a question that was never asked.
Ironically, the next question I was going to say was, how do you do it all? And you just answered that with that book. The book.
Well, hopefully. And the thing I'm really excited about is it just came out, is the audiobook version of that on iTunes and Audible. Look, this is not a pitch thing for I get $1 or whatever. I don't care. But it's a message that I want to get out there. Yes, I started it for my kids, but it's really a message that I feel is going to be beneficial for the people with whom I come in contact. So it was the first time that I went into a recording studio and I recorded words that I had written, because it was my book. I was recording for the audiobook, and it's my voice, but for the first time it's my voice in the true sense, not just in the physical sense of it being my voice, but my true inner voice as well. And it literally just came out, and I'm more excited about that audiobook than the physical book, because it's both worlds coming together.
Yeah. Well, it would be kind of weird, I think, if someone else voiced your book anyway. That would be a bit strange. That
would be a bad idea. That would not be very holistically appropriate, considering my past.
It's the ultimate of a voiceover by James Earl Jones.
By James. Well, it would be funny, though, if I did it in a character voice. Finding focus in a busy world by Casey Kasem, by whomever. Yeah. No. Next one. I'll have to do the revised version.
Yeah.
Funny, silly character voices.
I would buy that too. Actually, I'd buy either one.
I'd buy that for $1. Yeah.
Nice.
So references just keep coming. I'm not gonna say what they're from. You can look them up.
Make them think.
Yeah.
The young kids these days.
Yeah.
Got
any more? Question. Yeah.
What do you want to talk about today?
Amway.
Amway. Have you bought a rainbow vacuum cleaner? No. Have you gotten out much since you've been here?
Not this time. This is my 3rd time in New Zealand. I really do love New Zealand. I didn't know it would be so cold. But the last couple times that I came, I went zorbing, I went bungee jumping, I bungee jumped over a river. It was a little scary.
You got to try river surfing next.
I did not do that.
It's like boogie boarding on a river, going really hard and fast.
Yeah.
And
Well, can I kayak on it? I think I prefer that.
Yeah.
I love kayaking. I actually moved recently, and I no longer live in Hollywood. I live on the Gulf Coast of Florida, so that I can paddleboard and kayak and be in nature and heat, which you don't have here. The coolest thing that I did in New Zealand the last time I was here was this adventure caving in the Waitomo Caves, the black water rafting. It's the best.
Awesome.
Loved it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's
I have to come back when it's a little warmer and do that.
It doesn't get much warmer.
No.
It was
I had a
summertime
wetsuit on, I remember.
We were just talking to Jim.
A little
He
pith
said the
helmet
same
with a
thing.
light. Yeah.
Jim said the same thing. He said it's just no one told him how cold it was going to be.
It's like 92 degrees every day where I left in Florida, which I don't know what that is in your unit of measurement. 30 something.
I'm not doing conversion on.
It is whatever the number for
It's hot.
bitterly cold is. That's what it is here. Yeah,
it is.
My ears hurt. Like I feel like they're gonna crack off.
Well, you're getting south.
I can't feel my fingers and toes. Yeah.
California.
Arctic.
No, it is. Technically, you're correct. It is Arctic, especially today.
Yeah.
You're getting southern breezes off the Arctic, so that's not an exaggeration.
There's a gust of wind, and I saw some penguins blowing by. Little penguins.
Normally, they're
little baby penguins.
Normally, we just have umbrellas. Floating,
yeah.
Penguins.
They had no umbrellas.
I don't even know where to go with this now. We've gone everywhere. Oh. Where
can they get that shirt? He's wearing a behindthemess.org.
Don't give me shit.
Behind the Me's. I think it's behind the. Get a shot of that. He's behind the Me's.
Don't get a shot of that. Look for the logo.
All right.
No. So what's next for you?
What's next is I go home. I see my babies for about 3 days, and then I go to jolly old London, England, for about 12 hours, and I'll be taken to my presentation at Oxford University. And then I hope to have some tea and crumpets with mushy peas and fish and chips.
Why would you
in a boiled vat? That's what they eat. Oh, they eat that? I've not been to England. I've only
curry.
And curry. Oh, I love curry. Love a good curry.
You know.
Love it. That's what they say over here, in New Zealand. Love it. That's my New Zealand accent. They're going to take away my passport.
Just like that, we lost our entire fan base in New Zealand.
I am so excited to be here in New Zealand. I tell you, I grew up watching Crocodile Dundee. And
oh, man.
Bam! The cameraman just walked away.
Just alienating our entire core audience.
I kid the Kiwis. I say it with love. We gotta wrap it up. I gotta get back down there and do some autographs.
And for your final question for you, when is the last time you laughed so hard you damn near peed yourself?
The last time I laughed so hard, I damn near peed myself. Sex, obviously.
Alone or with someone else?
Well, that's my little secret.
Yeah, all right, yes. You gotta have an area of mystique.
Yes.
All right, fair
enough.
Keep
the mystery alive.
I think we've done that successfully.
All right.
Cool.
Na.